Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of American Truck Simulator. I'm SoCal Thero, and today we're going to be cargoing out some Transformers that are 123,000 pounds. That's some heavy Transformers. So that's why our truck today is going to have an oversized load flag on it and whatnot to indicate that we're going to be really having a hard time climbing hills. I'm just gonna say that now because oh man, I can't wait to see what's going on here with the oversized load like this. That's gonna be really heavy. And then the drive too. We're driving from Phoenix, Arizona, all the way out to Stockton, California. The time remaining is 33 hours and 14 minutes. If we complete this job on time and without any issue, we will receive $25,000. That will get us almost to the point of purchasing a truck. And at that time, as of now, I still didn't want to take out a bank loan, but maybe after this one being as close as we will be, maybe I'll take out a bank loan and we'll just purchase our. So we're gonna climb into the cab here. Everything is not set up the way I like it as usual, because it's not our truck and the last driver did not do it the way we want. And we're gonna be transferring those Transformers there. Man, those things are huge. I can see why they're heavy. That trailer is huge. Oh my god. Okay, well, that's gonna be fun to do. We're sitting at a little over half a tank, so I'm sure we're gonna have to get some fuel. This drive sounds like it's not gonna be easy, so we're probably gonna have to stop and rest too. We're gonna fire up the truck here. Gonna put on our blinkers, make sure they're working. Yep, they're working. Alright, go ahead and kill those. That mirror's as good as it's gonna get in that one too. I'm not sure how I'm gonna get out of here though. I guess I can go either way, but it looks like on the right is gonna be more difficult, so we're gonna actually try to pull out to the left here. Let's go ahead and... Oh man, this truck sounds nice. Got the wheel cranked as hard as we can. Man, we are close. Oh man. Man, that is tight. Alright, well. And we're like practically jackknifing the trailer right now. Luckily they got all this space so I can drive around and get out of here, because that was pretty tight. Locking up the trailer. So we're gonna be heading out to Stockton here. Oh, that's... Oh man, I thought the exit was the other way. This might be a lot tougher than I thought. I cut it. Oh man, that is tight. Oh my god, that is close. Oh, did the last trailer hit it? Oh no, it did. Wow, I barely did. I think the flag on the oversized thing hit the pole. So, shit, talk about as close as you can cut it. Alright, we're gonna pull out here right now. We're gonna get this baby going. Oh, that's good. Do I have beacon lights? I don't think I do. That's fine. Normally with an oversized load, somebody told me that you should be running with beacon lights, but I couldn't confirm that with you as I'm not a truck driver and don't know. So we're gonna get out of here on the road here. Well, obviously we're on the road, but we're gonna get out on the highway. You know what? I always forget to do this. I need to look at the route, because this game sure does like to screw you over on the route. And it looks like we're gonna hop on a freeway here in Phoenix. Take the 10 all the way over to the 5, which that's fine. Oh, except we're gonna cut through. We're not gonna cut through a town there. We might cut through the town if we are running short on fumes here, but I'm gonna try to stick to the highway. And we'll take this highway all the way up. Discover some roads here too. And our drop-off point is right here. Okay, that should be good. Hopefully I didn't miss anything. gonna have to swing out here just because of this oversized load in this long ass trailer. I mean, look at this trailer. I'm all the way in the other lane, and I'm pretty much like lined up on this side. This is not gonna be easy with this big of a trailer. I know my intentions, so if he wants to pull out, he can, and give me enough space to swing this out. He's coming. Hit the shoulder a little bit, and we should be cleared. Yeah, we're good. Okay. I'm gonna hop on the highway here right now. On the highway now. We're gonna merge over here and just get on the main highway. I believe is the 10 is what we're merging onto now. I know we gotta take the 10 to get into California, and go from there. We'll just stick on it for a while. Yeah, it's 10. Okay. If I get to learn this map well enough, I may like do an episode where I don't even have my my GPS on and try to get us there using road signs. I don't know how well that'll go though. I'll probably miss a lot of turns and end up somewhere I wasn't supposed to. But we'll see. Maybe one day here. Shout out to user looking for you 2282. The guy sent me a ton of questions. Well, I shouldn't say guy. I don't know if it's a guy or girl. This user sent me a ton of questions, and granted they are just like little generic questions, but I told him you know what, I do my best to try to answer every single one of them about me. Granted, I might kind of not elaborate on them a lot. I might just burn through them real quick and say this, like just answer it and go. But let me see here. First question, what is your favorite color? Do you have only one, or do you have two? I have, or is that two? No, that's not two. That's more. Man, I need to get a second monitor. That's terrible. I have one favorite color, and it is green, but like a dark green, like a man, I wish there was an example here I could use. I'd say like this tree off to the right, that's really dark sticking in that field. Like it stands out more than the rest. Like a really dark green basically is kind of green. It is like my favorite color. It used to be red though, so if you want to say I have more than one, yeah, maybe, because the color of red on this truck used to be my favorite color, and it was my favorite color growing up most of the time. And then over the years I kind of developed a like for green, and my first car, my Ford Explorer, was a dark green, and I had it painted that color because I started to fall in love with that color. And I think that might have had something to do with my parents, because when I was growing up, we lived in 3 homes. I lived in a home in Long Beach with my parents when I was born, and very little. I hardly remember it. Then I lived in another home in Lake Elsinore, and then I lived in the 3rd home before I moved out, and my dad still lives there to this day in Lake Elsinore. And when we bought the house, my dad had dark green carpet placed, and he had a dark green couch, and we tried to my mom before she had me was an interior decorator for like Hollywood people and whatnot, so she was in charge of decorating. My dad gave her money, and she did the decorating and made the house look nice, basically. And she just did a lot of like the house was like a green and a white color, like the green carpets and then like white tile and white walls, stuff like that. And I think just being around it for so long made me a fan of the color green. So that's how I got that as my favorite color. What is your favorite movie? I answered that in a previous episode, so I don't want to be sounding redundant here and saying it again. Let's see, what else? Do you have a favorite game? I kind of answered that in another episode as well. Again, I don't want to be redundant here in saying the same things over and over again. Same with the music question too. Thank you for those questions. It's just I've answered them before, and in other episodes, and I just don't want to be redundant and the viewers be like, oh, I already know this one. Like I already know this about him. Let me see. Man, these are really hard to read. I still have some from this user. It's just I can't read them all. Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna have to see if I can get my laptop working. That I have my work laptop, and I'll see if I can open it up with that and read the question. Because I don't know what it is. The font or the text or something is just really unclear to see on my cell phone. And I mean, I have a Samsung Galaxy S8 Plus, and it's a pretty clear screen. I don't know why it looks so terrible though with this app. So I'll try to circle back to some of your questions here if I get my laptop. Let's see if I can catch somebody else's here. I don't know if it's my phone or not. It's so hard to read. What's your favorite animal, cats or dogs? I kind of went over this already with what I had, but I don't have a favorite. I like both cats and dogs. Have you had any exotic animals in your life? I don't know what you would define as exotic. The question was, have I owned any exotic animals in my life, like as pets? And I don't know what you would consider exotic. I mean, to a rock and roll star, a tiger is like having a cat to them. Like, that's not a big deal. Whereas to us, we're like, oh my God, who would own a tiger? I mean, pet-wise, I had a rabbit. I had lots of cats, lots of dogs. We had chickens. My dad had a chicken coop that he had just so we didn't have to buy eggs, basically. I had turtles, and I still have turtles to this day. They just don't live with me. They live at my dad's. My dad in his backyard has my dad has a really nice sized backyard, and he has a pond back there, like a fishing pond with koi fish. And we placed my turtles in there. They used to be in a fish tank in my bedroom when I was growing up, when they were smaller. And as they got bigger, it's like, that's not really an ideal place for turtles. So we put them in the backyard, and they immediately ran for the pond, and they live in the pond now, and they never go anywhere, basically. They just stick their head up to get some air and kind of check out what's going on, and then go back down. Yeah, I had turtles, chickens, dogs, cats, fish, obviously, with koi fish. I also had saltwater fish for like an aquarium. My dad was a big fish lover. So we had like I can't ever think of the technical names of them, like their actual names, like for the species. I want to say it's bluegill, but I know that's not right. That doesn't sound right. That sounds like the bigger fish that we did deep sea fishing with. It's basically, if you've seen Finding Nemo, he had an orange clownfish, which is what Nemo is, and then he also, hang on one second, I see something. Not doing that. Okay. Sorry, I saw it wanted me to get off, so I was like, wait a second, why am I getting off the freeway so soon? So he has orange clownfish, like Finding Nemo fish, basically, is what Nemo is. He's an orange clown. And then he had a dory, and that's the one I think it is called bluefin, but I'm pretty sure that's not what it's called. And then he had like a puffer fish and a boxfish, and he had eels too at one point when he had his fish tank. He doesn't have it anymore, obviously, as I'm speaking in past tense. Oh, we're in California now. I gotta slow it down. So yeah, I've had a lot of pets. I mean, I had a rabbit too at one point. And so I don't know what your definition of exotic is. If like you're thinking like reptiles, like a snake, or you're like thinking really extreme, like I said, the tiger. That's stuff like that. No. So yeah, no. If that's your idea of exotic, no, I haven't had an exotic pet. And then to elaborate on that some more, I have I have two phobias of animals slash reptiles as well. I cannot, for the life of me, stand spiders. Just the way they look is just, oh, I can't stand them. They just, I mean, it's nothing against them. Like, I have daddy long leg spiders all over my garage because, I mean, it's a garage. It gets dusty and dirty, and spiders move in and whatnot and feel at home. And daddy long leg spiders are known to eat other spiders, so I'm like, oh, I'm not gonna kill that thing. It's gonna eat the other spider, so why would I care? But yeah, spiders are one. Like tarantulas, I can't stand. If I look at it, it just grosses me out. And then the second one is snakes. I cannot stand a snake. If I see a snake, I'm like the classic person in the movie that's jumping up on the table saying, oh my god, get this thing away from me, get it out of here. Burn the house down to make sure you get them all. Like, yeah, I can't do that. Like, and it's weird. I developed it later on in life because when I was a kid, like when I think I was in like 4th or 5th grade, which would have made me like 7 years old, I want to say. I had a friend that had a pet snake, and for anybody that's old enough to remember him, I had this Micro Machine car set, which if you're old enough, you'll know what that is. They're like toy cars, but like the name says micro, like they're tiny. And I had this big van like play set thing that you could play on with it, and the snake got in there and it got stuck in there, and I pulled it out with my hand, and I wasn't scared of snakes at the time, but when I put it on the floor and I saw the snake moving like it naturally should, like just slithering around, it just was so creepy that it like triggered it's weird. It like triggered something in my head to where I was like, nope, I can't do that. Nope, not touching it ever again. It's not even, I touched it once. It didn't bother me the way it feels, like the way it's, I guess you would say it's skin or scales or whatever. How it felt, anything like that, never bothered me. As soon as I saw it move is when I lost it. I was like, nope, I can't do that. Not today. I can't do no snakes like that. You gonna get over there? I know you gotta get in the, whatever that is, rest area. Slowing me down. So yeah, those are my, I mean, to answer the question, no, if that was the case with exotic pets, no, I haven't owned any exotic pets. I've had a lot of pets, a lot of different types of pets, but not exotic. And also, as a bonus question, I guess you could say, that's my phobia too of creatures, is spiders and snakes. And granted, just so you know, I work in a warehouse, so there's lots of spiders in there, and it's a printing company, so they don't have to really maintain, like they have to maintain some sort of like a pest and rodent control, but it's not like it's attainable all the time. So like I've seen a snake in my warehouse. I've seen a bat, I've seen birds, I've seen well, I said rats, so mice. I've seen spiders. Spiders are common in there. Like, they come in and they fall out of the ceiling and they fall on the pallets of product, and when you go grab a box, you can like almost be touching one and just not even know it and freak the hell out. Well, at least I do anyways. So yeah, those are my two phobias, and to answer your question about the exotic pets. Let me see, what else do we have here? Have you ever been a part of a roleplay community? If so, what was the name of the community? And why are you not a part of it anymore? And would you ever consider DOJ? Okay, so this question, it's a kind of a long question, I guess. I guess that's good for this commute because it's gonna be a long drive. And it's actually a couple different questions. I'll try to tackle each question at once here. First question asks, and this is again going back to probably what you guys are like, oh great, more of his LS PDFR and not about American Truck Simulator. Question is, have I ever been a part of a LC PDFR or LS PDFR community, like a roleplay community? Which, if you're not familiar with that, it's basically a community that role plays, that they're like cops, and then like other people play as civilians that you pull over and kind of role play a scenario, stuff like that. I mean, if you're not watching Jeff Fabiano's channel or Bay Area Bugs, then you might not know, but if you watch their channels, you'll definitely know what I'm talking about here, because they record it and they do a really good job of coming up with new content and new ideas for each scenario. But to answer the question, no, I'm not a part of any of those communities. I've been offered multiple times because I'm a vehicle modeler that does do some vehicle modeling in my spare time. Like, I've been offered jobs like, basically, hey, we'll pay you X amount of dollars to make our fleet of vehicles, and I never wanted to do that because when I first started making vehicle models, I actually did that. I took up a job offer to do I think it was 10 cars or 12 cars, and I charged the guy, I was like, okay, I'll do it for like $100. Well, after I invested all the time I did into it, I was not making more than probably 5 cents an hour for the work I did. So I didn't really gauge the amount correctly, and it kind of just like left me with like, yeah, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do any fleet vehicles for anybody. So to answer the question, no, I'm not part of a roleplay community or anything like that. And then, have I ever been in one before? Yes, I have. Back in 2013-ish, I want to say, because it was going on before I got married, and everybody knows by now I got married in 2014. I was part of a community, and you can actually see, I think my channel still hosts like is like the featured channel on here. I don't know how to change that, and I think that's what it's doing anyways. Is they have a YouTube channel that shows some of the patrols, and you can hear me speaking in some of them too. Like, I think there's like there's a riot in progress that I called for backup on, and then there's a shooting that's going on that I was involved in too, that I needed backup on because I was getting shot at by like multiple suspects. I think it was like 6 or 7 people, and this is all again LCPDFR, because that's the game that you could get scripts into, and you didn't have to exactly role play with other actual people being civilians. But the name of the community was let me see, it was Liberty City Emergency Operations, yeah, LCEO. And there's quite a few people in there when I joined. When I joined, there was 3 like head people in charge of the community, and the one that accepted my invite left at that time. And there's only 2 left that were part of the like management team, I guess you would say, like oversaw the community. And those people I'm actually friends with to this day with them still. I still talk to them every now and then. I have them on my Facebook. I talk to them and I see how they're doing. One of them, his name's, I call him T. He lives in Marietta as well, but Marietta, Georgia. So, like in the Green Mile, Don't Coffee. It sounds the same, but not spelled the same or whatever it is. But yeah, he lives in Marietta, Georgia. And then I have another friend named Ken, and he was basically like my supervisor in the community because I joined the sheriff's department within it, and T was the chief of police. And Ken lives out in Texas and has a daughter now, and I talk to the 2 of them like once in a great while. I get to talk to them and see what they're doing and how they're doing. They don't do it anymore or anything like that. After I got married, I had to really tone back on doing the role play because I was married, and being newlyweds, you want to spend a lot of time together. So it was something that I was like, you know what, I just don't have the time to do it anymore. And it was something that I've always thought about redoing again, and I might go back to a community. I've thought about it multiple times, so I still kind of got like the itch to do it. Well, I probably will one day, and to be honest, if I do, that'll probably be something else that gets added to the channel as well, if the community I join allows it. Yeah, I was a part of that community. I started off as just a regular deputy in the sheriff's department. Then I moved up. I was in the auto theft task force. I was the supervisor for it because frankly nobody else was in it. So I was kind of the supervisor for it. And I moved up to being the lieutenant for my buddy Ken, who was the sheriff for the sheriff's department. So it was pretty cool. It was a lot of fun. I made the vehicle pack for that clan as well. And if you look throughout my channel, and you'll see like GTA 4 builds. And ooh, I'm trying to get over here. You will see that some of the vehicles that I made for them are actually still on here, like the demonstration videos. I mean, the editing and the music is god awful from what I know now, from what I knew then. It's like real standard YouTube, like small mixes, and it's obnoxious music in my mind. But it was free and it was not copyrighted, so that's the reason why. So you can see some of their vehicles that we use, and you can see again. I think it still says it's a feature channel. The clan had its own YouTube channel, and we still have some of our patrol videos on there. I believe Ken oversaw that channel, and he left it on there just so we can revisit it every now and then and kind of catch up on the good times of when we were role playing and playing LCPDFR. Then the second part of the question is, would you ever join DOJ and roleplay in that community? I thought I kind of answered that in the first part of this question, but I guess I could reiterate it. I would always be up to doing roleplay again. I would need the group to understand, like, hey, I can't be like a fully committed member. Like, I need to be there at every meeting and every like training, and I need to be at X amount of patrols within X amount of time, or I'm going to get kicked. And I understand that not all communities can, again, accept people like that, because it's, hey, we have X amount of space and we need to free up the space for people that are really committed to it. So I get it if they couldn't. But yeah, I'd be interested in joining like DOJ if I was given the chance. And to add to that, I actually am signed up on the DOJ website, and I was gonna fill out a recruit application, but I don't know, I don't feel comfortable with it yet to fill out an application. I don't know how my time looks, like if I'll have enough time to be able to do it, like what kind of commitment they're looking for. So it's just things like that. So like if I looked into it more, or if I spoke to somebody over there, maybe I could get a better idea if it's something I could do. And then as far as joining like another community goes, I probably wouldn't. And the reason behind that is because I've been approached, like I said, at least 2 or 3 times to make vehicle fleets for people that are starting up a new community. I tell them I get back to them, and I get back to them about 2 weeks later, and they're like, oh, the community died, we're not going to do it anymore. And that's a lot of what happens with these communities. Like somebody will be in a big one, like DOJ is a really big community. Like that community probably will never die or go anywhere until, hell, unless LSPDFR gets banned or something happens to where it can't run anymore. And you want a community like that because you'll always have people there. Oh man, this is gonna be hard. This is a steep ass hill. We're gonna turn off the cruise control now. And then we're gonna probably have to get into this other lane and let traffic by. Well, you know what? Let's even put our hazards on. Yeah. So this way they can. We're trying to climb the hill. There's that truck that's broken down that I seen before. Doing the same thing as me right now, trying to climb this hill. Man, this is really steep. What is it? Oh, yeah. So I mean, and it's hard to. It's kind of intimidating to ask the DOJ community guidelines like that, because like they have their recruit application and they tell you the stuff that is required of you, and I just haven't had a chance to go through all of it to see. But I haven't asked anybody because, like I said, it's intimidating. Those guys, from what I hear, get like 10 to 30,000 applications a month. That's a lot of people's applications to go through to see if they would make the cut and be and that they would want in the community. So I am signed up on the DOJ site, and I'm sitting there right now on the recruit application screen, but I haven't done anything with it from then on. So we can go ahead and build the hazards, but think we're gonna go ahead and just coast because it looks like, yeah, we got a runaway ramp here. We can just let the truck cruise to its speed. So, yes, I used to be a part of a roleplay community for LC PDFR. I would always consider possibly going back to a roleplay community for LS PDFR, and if I did and they allowed it, I'd bring the content to the channel as well. And if I would join DOJ, yes, I would. If I was given the opportunity and chance, yeah, I wouldn't mind joining DOJ, and because they seem like they have a great group of people there. They probably have, I mean, like any other community, they probably have some bad apples in there too. So I mean, it's just bound to happen. Okay, I think we can hit cruise control now, but we need to get out of this lane. It's an exit only lane, and this car is going to come into the lane. We're going to have to slow down. We're going to have to go over the line, and he's going to get in the lane last second. Oh man, that was scary. And shit, that was the lane I was supposed to be in, I think. Oh wait, no, it's not. I'm in the right lane. Okay. I was looking at the navigation for a second. I thought I was supposed to be up there, but I guess not. Man, that was real scary. I thought we might have lost some time there. We can put the cruise control back on and start to get dark so we can put some lights on here just to be safe. Lights for safety. But yeah, I hope that answered the questions. Let's see, how far are we trucking still? Oh, a while. Okay. So, and then how's our sleep looking? Good too. I think we're gonna make this run in one run, unlike the last one where I had to stop and well, I had to drive crazy to get to the rest stop because it was so far away and I didn't think I was gonna make it. I don't think we'll have to do that on this episode. Let's see, what other questions do we got here? Oh, here we go. I got my computer back so I can answer some of the questions from that one user earlier. Let me see. How old are you? I've answered it before, but I'm 33 years old. That's easy. When is your birthday? October 15th is my birthday. I won't say the year because, I mean, I'm 33. You can kind of guess the idea of the year if you can do the math. How long have you been married? I've been married for 3 years now. How long have you known your wife? 6 years is how long I've known my wife when we've gone out. What else? What else? I answered that one from them. And that one. And that one I answered before. Okay. And the last question I couldn't read is actually something I've answered earlier. So that's all I'm going to answer from them, so it's not redundant, like I said. Thank you again for submitting all those questions. I really appreciate it. It gives us more to talk about on these drives, and again, it lets you get to know me a little bit more and kind of makes the drive go a little bit quicker, especially for me because granted I'm recording this for YouTube. When I played this game off camera, I usually play with the radio on, so I have music going, and for obvious reasons I can't do that with YouTube because, I mean, copyright infringement. They're like, hey, you're using somebody else's music. Yeah, I am, but it's because I'm listening to the radio, so it's not like I stole the music. I'm just listening to it on my radio. But I mean, I understand copyright laws, you can't do that, so because I am creating content over here doing that. So that's why I really appreciate when you guys send in your questions, give me topics to talk about, because it just makes the drive that much better. Like I'll be talking here, and then all of a sudden I look down at the navigation and go, oh, I'm gonna miss my turn because I've been over here blabbering for so long. Or I look down and go, wow, we're already to there. Like we drove across across 2 states, and that's kind of what's going on right now. Like I answered just a few questions, and we have left Phoenix, Arizona in that time, and we are almost up to Santa Cruz, just outside of Fresno, where we need to be in California. Well, Fresno's not where we need to be. We need to be in Stockton, but like on that way. So that's pretty good. Let's see here. What else can we get out of the questions? answered that one. Yes. Yeah, that's the DOJ and LSBFR1 I answered. Let's see here. That's something I answered already. What's your favorite color? I already answered that off of another user. Thank you, by the way, to the again, to people submitting the questions. Even if I don't answer your question here, it doesn't mean that I don't care. I've probably answered it in the past, and like I said, I just don't want to be redundant. If you're curious, just look in the previous episodes. I ramble on for quite a while, and you'll probably catch one of the answers to your questions there if I've already answered it. See, are you a truck driver, and if so, what kind of truck do you drive? No, I'm not a truck driver. I just drive on American Truck Simulator. I don't know much about the truck driving world. I work in a warehouse, but I interact with truck drivers. That's about as much as I know about truck driving. So I know the brands and somewhat what the model names are, but that's it. Let's see here. If you're not a truck driver, would you want to be a truck driver? The question is, would I want to be a truck driver if I'm not a truck driver? Because they obviously didn't know if I was or wasn't yet. So no, I'm not a truck driver again. And would I want to be a truck driver? Absolutely not. Hell no, would I want to be a truck driver? I can 100% confidently answer that I would never want to be a truck driver. And the reason for that is because all you do is you sit in a truck all day listening to a radio hauling shit across country. If you're like doing trucking like this, like the truck drivers I interact with are usually guys that just drive within like Southern California, sometimes up in Northern California. So they don't really have long hauls that go over state lines. But like doing something like this, there is no way I could do it. And at my work, I have a temporary employee that works for me that used to be a truck driver, and I asked him about it. I'm like, yeah, I play this simulator game for truck drivers, and I know I'm crazy because you're probably thinking, man, that was my job. Why would I want to play that as a video game in my spare time? But I asked him about truck driving, and he's like, well, I missed it. He was the owner-operator of his own truck at one point, and then he sold it because the maintenance overhead was so expensive that he just couldn't justify owning a truck anymore. And the problem is after a while, he's an older gentleman. I don't know his exact age, but he drove for so long, his body told him finally it was time to retire and be done with it. Because what would happen is he would sit in trucks for so long for hauls that he would have to go see a chiropractor once every, I think he said once every 3 months he had to see his chiropractor to adjust his body because his body was just slouched and his posture was terrible because he was sitting in a truck all day, just sitting down driving all day, and then he'd go to bed laying down on a bed and then get up and do it again the next day. So he said he does not miss it because of that. And to be honest, I would never be a truck driver because of that. Like hearing that, I'm like, nope, more power to the people that do it. And like I've seen snippets of like those ice trucker shows and stuff like that where they're driving on a lake that's iced over right now, hoping that the ice doesn't give way. That is something that, pardon my French, takes some huge balls to do, and there is no way you'd catch me out there in a truck like this with 123,000 pounds on it driving on ice, hoping that the ice doesn't give way. There's just no way you'd see me do that. Or driving down a narrow mountain stretch of road, hoping you don't fall off the cliff. Yeah, it's just too much stress. I could not do it. I could not handle it. I mean, if I had no choice, like it was like that or working at a minimum wage job, then yeah, I'd probably reconsider it. But and obviously I say minimum wage job, making it sound like it's bad, which it's not, but it's something that I couldn't live off of if I was at that. But yeah, just truck driving in general is something that I could not do. Alright, so let's see, another question we got here. Besides the jobs that you did, is there any other job that you applied for or wish you could be doing right now? Example being police or a fire truck Oh, okay. So, question is basically, other than in the previous episodes, I listed what I used to do for work, all the way from when I was a teenager up until now, and the question asks, other than those jobs, is there any other job that I applied for, or any other job that I would like to do, other than what I'm doing now? Well, kind of a two-part question, I guess. Is there any other job that I applied for before that I didn't get? And the answer is yes. I applied to be a deputy with the sheriff's department, the local sheriff's department out here by me, and I didn't pass the test because, well, I passed the written test, which is also the computer test, and I didn't get the acceptance because I was too nice and they were afraid I would get hurt. Which I guess you could say. I mean, if you knew me in real life, like in person, you'd be like, yeah, this guy's kind of a softie, get his ass kicked if he was in a prison riot. They'd probably kill him. But I have a friend that actually applied for it too, and the reason I applied is because my friend applied and he actually got accepted, and he's now he's a police officer for the town we grew up in Lake Elsinore. So yeah. That was one job, and then when I worked at the Abbott job, I was branching out anywhere to find another job. I was not looking for another warehouse job. I was just like, I'll go anywhere that's going to pay me decent, and I'm going to have health and dental benefits and a 401k that I can invest into later on. And the job that came up that somebody recommended to me was a 911 operator dispatch job, which I actually applied for, and I passed the written test and everything, but I just did not pass oh great, my guy's tired now. I did not pass the psych evaluation, because it's like psych wise you have to be like I'm a person that likes to know the conclusion of things, but as a 911 dispatcher, you never know. Like, people are calling you at the worst time of their life. Like, hey, I'm being robbed. I'm scared for my life. Like, they're afraid they're gonna die, and you have to somehow remain calm and talk them through it while you try to get people dispatched to their house to save them, or if like somebody's having a heart attack or anything like that. And you 9 times out of 10, you're not gonna know the ending or the outcome. Like, they're gonna hang up and say, "Yeah, the police are here. I'm gonna hang up now," and then you never know what happens. Like, did the police arrive in time? Did they arrest the guy? Did the person get hurt? Is the person okay? Like, that's something that you'd have to live with, and it's something that I didn't pass. And that's why I couldn't be a 911 dispatch operator. It was because of that. And I mean, to be honest, at the time I was in a real bad situation. I was like, I need to find a job. I need to get whatever I could. And somebody mentioned this job. The reason they mentioned the job to me is because I was on the computer one day doing data entry, and they noticed I do 10 keystroke, like traditional typing. And they had me. Oh wow, we're running out of fuel now. And we're gonna have to map it here. See, we still, yeah, we're pretty close. I think we might make it without having to make a stop. Although we could make a stop right there. No, that's a rest stop. Oh, we're gonna try it. Oh well, welcome, YOLO. Gonna try to make it there half awake with let's see, very little fuel left. 32 gallons left. 191 miles. We're at 29 miles. Oh yeah, we're fine. Okay. So yeah, so I was at Abbott one day and I was doing data entry, and I do 10 keystroke like traditional typing, and one of the girls that had a friend that was a dispatcher was like, "Man, you really type fast. How fast do you type?" I'm like, "I don't know." So they had me take the test at well, she recommended the job to me, and I had to take the test for the words per minute, and the passing score was 52, and I was at 73. I was like, wait till I'm done down in here. I was like, wow, I must be a shoo-in for this job, because I mean, I'm typing 20 words faster than everybody else around here, or what they require. And And unfortunately, that just wasn't the case. There was so much more to the job than just being able to type. And truth be told, I'm kind of glad I didn't get that job, just because, like I said, I was in a desperate time trying to find anything that was a better job, that was more permanent with benefits, and doing a job like that is probably pretty stressful. So to answer that question, yeah, those are some of the other jobs I looked at that I never got hired to or never got into. As far as there's another part of the question there that said, is there any other jobs you'd like to do other than what you're doing now? I kind of, and I've been on and off. Sorry, I had to check that. I've been on and off with my wife about it, like saying I want to, but I kind of want to go back to school and learn something in an IT field, like a systems admin or something, and work with computers more. And that's kind of been my thought. And every day I kind of look at my current job and I go, you know, I'm at a job that's a printing company, and when you look at things today, not a lot of stuff gets printed anymore. Like, if you get your news from a newspaper, you're considered old-fashioned. They're like, why don't you get it online? Well, a lot of stuff is like about going green, saving the trees, don't print so much. So it kind of makes me wonder, like, how much longer I do have a job. But at the same time, though, too, my company is that I work for is shifting from paper to digital electronic advertisement as well. So I feel pretty confident if I stayed there, I'd be okay. But yeah, as far as like stuff I would want to do still, that's one of the things I would like to try to do, is maybe some kind of an IT person. I have a couple friends that do it, and they tell me that it's not worth it. It's you'd regret it, but I don't know. Not everybody does the job they like. I don't think there's too many people that do, actually, and they can't really tell you that you won't like a job, because it's them, it's not you. Only you know what you're gonna like doing. Oh, it looks like we're getting pretty close to our drop-off here. Gotta get through this light. Man, I thought doing just a personal note on, I might run this light here. Yep, I ran the light. Whoops. I couldn't see it. Just on a personal note here with content creating, just for anybody that's wondering. I do the LSPDFR series so far, and I never realized this about myself, but I mean, when I do that series, I record probably about an hour and a half to 2 hours of content, so I can get about 30 to 50 minutes of like broadcast able content per se. What I mean is like content that I would edit and put in an episode, but it doesn't require me to talk, because I mean, like, there's breaks, like there's a call and then I'm not on a call anymore, and I'm doing this now, like I'm doing the American Truck Simulators, and I'm just thinking to myself, man, I have to talk sometimes for an hour straight. I don't want you guys to be bored sitting here like, oh man, he's so quiet, he's not saying anything. So I mean, I want to engage with conversation here, and I'm just like, man, my throat's getting dry. Like, I'm really learning more about myself now, how hard this really is, and probably just because I'm not used to it yet, and as I do it more, maybe I'll get used to it. But man, just for any of you guys out there thinking about future YouTube content creators, or any other kind of website content creator where you're commentating, just keep that in mind, because man, I keep a bottle of water next to me now, just to try to clear my throat and keep me going for the rest of the episode. But now we're pulling up here now. This was an easy drop off. I'm just hoping that it clicks. I think it's because it's a lot bigger load. Let's see. Yeah, that's why. So we're gonna go ahead and set our parking brake. We're gonna kill the lights, kill the engine, and we're gonna go ahead and take this off, detach the trailer. Man, our fuel was almost out. We're tired. Like, our guy pushed it to the limit there. So let's see. got an excellent on this. I know we got a ticket on this one for sure because I got it right there at the end, making the left-hand turn. I honestly didn't care. I was like, I'm gonna run the light. I'm not gonna make it. So we delivered a transformer from Phoenix, Arizona to Stockton, California. We drove 705 miles. It took 13 hours and 21 minutes to do it in. I think the average sleep cycle for the driver on here is 14, so a couple extra minutes before we were dead tired to nothing. Fuel consumed is 118 gallons. The base reward for the drive was $20,708. Our proficiency bonus bumped us up another $1,242. The long distance delivery bonus bumped us up another $3,000, which gave us a grand total, like it said earlier, of $25,000 and 1445 XP, which I think when I was looking as well, we bumped up again on the, yep, we bumped up another skill point here. So, let's see. I think I know I've been doing fuel economy just so we don't cost ourselves too much money when we're driving our own truck. I kind of am tempted to max that out before I do anything else, but I kind of want to get something else in here too. Says deliveries up to 1,600 miles. I think what we're gonna do is we're actually gonna go with like high value cargo, so we can make a little more money here if we get one of these. Apply that. So after that run, that gets us up to $95,000, $95,440. So we're getting pretty close to being able to purchase our first truck here. Before the Arizona pack came out, it was kind of limited to how far your distance could go, so it was really hard to earn money before. So to be able to almost afford my first truck this quickly is kind of nice to see now that I'm kind of, guess, reliving or replaying this game again from the start. So kind of good to see that. It just means to show me that when I get to when the New Mexico update releases, I'll be able to earn even more to where it wouldn't be such a hard thing to do. Anyways, guys, that's gonna do it for this episode of American Truck Simulator. I hope you like the content you've been watching and what I've been putting out. If you have any questions or comments or concerns or topics you'd like me to talk about, feel free to email them to my email on the About page or leave them in the comments below, and I will take a look at those. And if there's questions or topics, I'll write them down so I can talk about them on the next episode that I record. But if you're new to my channel and you like this series or any other series I record, go ahead and hit that subscription button. I'd really appreciate it. It lets me know I'm doing a good job. Lets me know that you want to see more content and that you guys enjoy watching me do this. Again, if you're already subscribed to my channel, thank you again for watching. And I hope that with this series, you're learning more and more about the person that's creating the content for the channel, and I can try to answer any questions that you guys have. So that all being said, thanks again for watching, and I will see you out there on the next haul.